All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down, do a live stream Q&A for you guys and gals. So David got the notification immediately. We know the notifications are going up. I'm putting a vote up for people here. I think it's important that we keep democracy alive and well in these live streams, and that means we're going to do a lot more votes on stuff. And I think they're good to discuss important topics here, right? Important topics, right? Who would win in a cage match? As Vegan Games wants to fight everybody in a cage match, and Mike Israetel does BJJ. I think this is a great conversation for us to have. So I think that needs to be there. And of course, we like to leave the option open because it is the Jason Blaha channel. We leave the option open for your mom, right? Because I love to make your mom jokes. Life is a garden. Dig it. There you go. What's up, Coach? What's up, Lars? So we got David, Lars, Felix, Isbert. We got a bunch of regulars in the house already. Dude, we are 1 minute in and we already got all these people. What? Hold on. Let me get a community tab post too. Let's make sure. All right. Let's see if we can get lots of people in here today. Hopefully we get a nice live one. It's a Sunday afternoon, man. We got a good coffee chat. I got a bunch of other work done with it. So, had a bunch of other work done that I got done. Did all my posting, other stuff I've got. All my clients caught up. One guy, I'm waiting on his footage and stuff so I can get a sheet. I got all my client sheets done. I'm done with all my work other than the call. I do have a consultation this afternoon after the call. So it's like, let me get in early, get this done, and let's just jump on top of it. But let's get over into everybody's answers and topics. And I'm going to let you guys dictate much of the flow of this. We have fun with this, man. I have so much informative content. I just want to do fun stuff for the most part in these Q&As. Also, obviously, answer lots of training questions. I have like 12,000 informative videos on fitness content already here. Stevie says it's obvious both number blasting gear. It'd be a science experiment of a cage match for sure. Who would fund it? I don't know who's funded it, man. Mike Israetel can fund it with his book sales, right? All his app sales, man. He's got that Renaissance periodization app. I'm sure he could fund it if he wanted to. Israetel's quite good at BJJ. He is good at BJJ, but the question becomes, is BJJ useful outside of a cage match? We know it's useful in a cage. Man, I know a lot of fighters who really don't think BJJ is all that great. Oh, man. Afternoon coach, I don't think Mike Israetel's fake black belts would him in a fight against Vegan Games. Not saying Vegan Games is a good at fighting, but he probably destroyed Mike. I don't know. He's got a lot of muscle. He's probably stronger, but Vegan Games got that long reach. He's got that bad knee. He's also a vegan. That's going to put him at a distinct disadvantage. He's going to get hurt really easy. The afternoon's going good though, man. Mike outweighs Vegan Stains by 100 pounds and has two twig legs that are injured forever. Right. But are you sure he's 100 pounds? Isn't Mike in his 200s? Isn't Vegan Gains like 250 or something? He's like 6'3" or something crazy, I thought. I don't know. I could be wrong. You don't want to get on the ground on the street, and BJJ is all about being on the ground. And I think that's a good point, Marco. BJJ is all groundwork, man. You don't want to get on the ground. That's exactly. You don't want to do BJJ out on the street. Now, I think in a cage match, though, BJJ is fierce. But anywhere else, I would think it would be very useful. Not an expert. I fought Taekwondo many years, and that is not useful IRL. Really, I think Taekwondo would be okay in real life. In a one-on-one fight, if someone has no grappling experience, BJJ will be impossible to deal with if it goes to the floor, and I think that's the point. But then again, we shouldn't be getting in fights out on the street anyway, should we? Does Vegan Stains have training experience? I think he did a couple classes at the YMCA. And that's why he started challenging everyone to cage matches. He went to the YMCA 2 or 3 times, took a couple lessons, and he started challenging the whole world to cage matches. Someone did a breakdown of Mike's fighting skills recently. Mike got destroyed. His black belt is as legit as his PhD. Man, I won't give Mike a rough time. But what about your mom? Your mom is in the running too. Your mom is in the running also. Let's not forget about your mom. Yo, sexy ass mama. Tell her I said hello. It's crazy. He doesn't know how to fight. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Mike is trained though. So there is, I mean, we can argue about Mike's skills all day, but he has competed in BJJ. He has training. He has actual real training in BJJ. So, whereas I don't think Richard has any. Do you think Vegan Gains has a high IQ? High is a relatively speaking, I'm not sure that he does. I mean, would he be a vegan if he were particularly intelligent? All right, honestly, my mom would put hands on either one of them, would or wouldn't, right? I stayed at the YMCA in New York once. It had such a great gym. Dude, the YMCA's sometimes have some really good gyms, man, right? I'm not convinced Mike has any proper training. People don't realize how quickly you get tired. No, dude. I think anybody who's done any type of fighting, even schoolyard fighting out on the playground, knows you get tired pretty quick fighting. Right? You get tired pretty quick. Conditioning's a big deal, man. Yeah, but no, I took the day off. Today was a non-training day. Right? I'm actually a black belt. A parent of his. If Vegan Stains is untrained, he's dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Did Rich really go to the YMCA and gain a sense of confidence to fight people? That's a funny story. That's what I heard. He gassed out in 5 seconds max, man. All that trend. Right? I'm just saying, guys, this would be the fight of the century right here. It would get hundreds of viewers, all from YouTube. Man, the stupidity of YouTube fitness. So this stuff is more important than any of the other nonsense. Let's go ahead and get this. And then, so here's how it works. So we let them fight it out, and then your mom gets to fight the winner. All right. I hadn't trained for 4 or 5 weeks and was absolutely cooked after a few friendly MMA rounds with a friend that has a fight coming up. Me versus Richard. Well, Richard's Canadian, so he can't legally carry. I win in the Glock food competition. It's depressing how people still unironically follow Vegan Gains. I know, right? It's ridiculous. Hit that like button, by the way, guys. How many regulars we got in here? We got 3 likes. Let me go down the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting 8 regulars with only 4 likes. Come on now, get those likes up. He's vegan. He isn't. But isn't he always beat up and can't squat? Pretty much. There we go. Appreciate it. Is there we go. Them likes are coming up now. We're bringing it up. Got it up to speed. That's what we want to see. Get them likes up. Oh, Lord. I liked it, Coach. Appreciate it, Felix. No, I think we're mostly good now. Most of the people have clicked like. There's only 8 people and 6 likes. It's a little better. So most of you guys are not slacking on that, you know. So I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. 6 likes with 8 people in the chat is not a terrible ratio. 7 likes, I apologize. That's not bad. That basically means only 1 person failed to click like out of all the people commenting. I'll take that. Man, I wish it was like that more often. All right? Wish it was like that more often. What a world it would be. Coach, I went a little crazy and pulled 365 times 8. Bar speed stay consistent though, but I'm cooked. David says, I'm never caught lacking when it comes to liking the lives. That is true, David. David's always on top of it. You have 2 dislikes. I got some dislikes. Is that what it is? Some people hitting them dislikes. Bunch of haters, man. Imagine being that much of a hater. Like, really imagine hating me when all I really do is talk about lifting and eating protein and carbs for the most part. I don't know, man. I don't get it. You know, I thought it was weird. Some guy said in here in the comments, you guys ready? Guys, you remember when you faked being ex-special forces and got out for stolen valor? I'm like, no. I never claimed to be in the military. Where did you come up with that? Even my haters can't make that as a real claim. You can't actually make that claim. I never actually did that. So, in the entire fake Merc fiasco, I never claimed to be in the military. And in fact, I said I was not in the military ever during the whole satire, fake Merc parody nonsense that everyone got mad at, right? I said specifically I was never in the military. So, all right. I'm on YouTube, Reverence. I can still see dislikes. I saw that comment. Blaze, if you're going full depth, then yes, what was the question? Is squatting 365 for 7 pause reps impressive? I think it's pretty solid. That's pretty respectable. There's a Chrome. You're a legend for that. I mean, but we do need to be clear. I made it clear and very specifically said that I was never in the military. And I think people forgot that part. So you can't be special forces. You can't be a Navy SEAL or any of those things. Yeah, no, I can't see who likes and dislikes. I don't have the ability to see that. So, for the unaware, and I know this is hard for some people to grasp, you have to be in the military to be a Navy SEAL. I know, who knew? You played a character for entertainment. There was no stolen valor. Your content was awesome. And it was satire. It was satire. But that's the problem, man. Poe's Law. Poe's Law. I didn't do the winky in it. I have to do the wink. I mean, it's winter. I've been doing the sled out barefoot in the winter, dude. What are you talking about? It was cold as hell a couple of these days. Yeah, you had these idiots making videos all hours of the day flipping out. Hell, news stories about it. That weight is Ted doing on his bicep curls, by the way. I don't know. Let me see if he wrote the weight. Let me check. That's a great question. So on those strict curls, let me see if he actually listed the weight for me. He doesn't always do that on some of those. Man, he might not have. Hold on. I got to scroll all the way up. I get a lot of messages from Ted. Oh, he totally listed. He has 30 kilograms listed for the curls, for those strict curls. 30 kg. All right. He actually had it. I actually had your answer. Like you were saying the other day, Kelly, the booty warrior muscle never seems to get called out. Bizarre, right? How can this guy have done all these horrible things and doesn't people need? Where's the hate? I'm gonna call him out. I'm gonna call him out for being a piece of crap. I'm gonna make videos calling out Kelly Muscle for being a criminal, for having sold cocaine and robbed people at gunpoint, right? Coach, is G for P gay or just part of the game that has to be accepted? It's only gay if the balls touch. Get on that YouTube, Revens. You won't get ads and stuff. Hey, Bradley, if we want them ads, man, the ads pay the bills. Yeah, Matt, it's only gay if the balls touch. That's the rules. I don't make the rules. Okay. All right. I don't make the rules. I mean, it's in the name G for P. I don't think anyone was surprised about Kelly. I mean, Kelly is a criminal and does G for P, right? I mean, Chucky Basha. I mean, but seriously. So it isn't gay if sore. I don't know, man. I know if the balls touch, it's definitely gay. This is a defiant. Yeah, if the swords touch, it probably is too, man. If there's any male on male contact for the most part, yeah. No ads in YouTube music is better than Spotify. Like hugging your bro isn't gay. I'm gonna go on a limb and say in some cultures holding your bro's hand isn't gay, but in some cultures it might be. I don't know. I don't know the rules, man. I guess it's going to depend on the cultural relevance. You know. if you push back on all fours, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to qualify there. Lord of mercy. Oh my God. That's almost getting scary. We need to just screenshot that one. Oh Lord. Just can't with you people. I don't think, is Arab a specific culture though? Aren't there multiple cultures? Right. Oh, I screenshot these chats sometimes. They get posted up on social media, some of the hilarious stuff. Some of the stuff gets funny. So include yours got in there too, so it isn't gay if the sword's touch. Oh man. Who would win in the cage? Kai and the grapefruit or Chuck Basher? Um, I think Kai would win that one. Yeah, there's like 25. But yeah, I mean to be fair, dude, I don't think you can narrow down and say there's one Arab culture. There's numerous Arab countries with different cultures. I mean, to be fair, that you have to be fair with that, dude. You can't say they're all identical, same cultures. Like that's not reasonable, you know. Right? That's a little bit prejudiced on your part. They're going to be different cultures, man. Right? Oh man. Yeah. But let's get over to more relevant topics. I'm going to say Kai Green wins in the cage match against Chucky Basher. He's bigger and stronger. He might even be taller, even though he comes up to about here on me when I met Kai Green. He's like down here. He claims he's 5'8". But they all stem from one tribe, but all share. Yeah, but it's a pretty wide number of countries and a pretty diverse landmass. You know, it's going to be diverse. There's going to be diversity of culture. It's just the way it's going to work. You can't have that large of regions, right? Yeah, right. Is the Taliban done? I don't know, man. I don't know. They seem to. Are they? I think they still have some power down there, dude. No, they're not gone, to my knowledge. That's true, Connor, but I'm not a fan of it. I mean, and I can understand where Felix is coming from as a Christian. You know, I get it. Right. Right. I don't think they all did. No, David. That's a really complex topic. Um, yeah, there's definitely different dialects and stuff. Yeah, you can't say it's all one culture, and I think that's a valid point. You can't claim that that is all entirely one culture. It spans multiple countries that developed cultures over time with pretty far distances apart. You know, that's like saying, all right, that's a perfect example, right? So that's like saying because there is Celtic and Vikings share a common ancestry and have largely converted to Christianity later, that the Irish, the Scottish, the Norwegians, the Swedish are all the same culture. Because those all come from one tribe that kind of spread over too. right? That's essentially one tribal background origin, and that it all later shared the same religion to some extent, right? And they're definitely not the same culture, right? So if you look at those migrations, they all share a same cultural roots, same tribal background going far, if you go look really far back, but they're not the same culture. I think it's fair to say the same when you look at the span of those countries down there. There's going to be different cultures. Oh man, I just created a war. Oh man. But you know, yeah, did it right. You sure did, buddy. He's like, is Brady's gonna be like, I'm not related to those Norwegians. How dare you? Right? Don't come at me now. Don't come at me like a spider monkey. The shirt returns, right? The shirt returns. We got USPA back home. Yeah. Oh man. Do you think the U.S. will go to war with Venezuela? I don't think so. Wait, what am I missing there? I missed something. What? Why are we going to war with Venezuela? I've known multiple people from Venezuela. I worked with a lot of people from Venezuela when I worked for Cameron. Because again, all the natural gas production there. All right, historically, it said they stem from two tribes. They do share a lot of similarities, though. Yeah, united by religion. Yeah. JC, what's up, JC? Trump wants to diverge attention from his Epstein. No, I don't. I've already covered that, Lars. I don't think you're going to get anything on him out of it, honestly. I covered that, I feel like, pretty effectively in the coffee chat. They would have already done it. Look, just even if you hate him, you have to admit that. The last administration, if they could have gotten, if there was anything in that material they could really use on him, they would have. They would have nailed him on it already. Just, you got to be realistic about that. You know, this really is a distraction. I mean, and let's be honest here. What sort of dirt are you probably likely to get on Trump at this point? The fact that he's banged hookers. You know, I was never in the service, Matt. What a silly comment. If you're American, then, right? David has called for a kapow on Matt. Did anybody second it? Connor put Matt in a 24-hour timeout. Connor's already moderated. But you gave him a warning, fair enough. So you got a warning. David's called for a kapow, though. Does anyone second a kapow? But kapow permanent, a second. All right, kapow has been voted. We got 3 kapows from 3 channel members. BMW's first post in the chat. We have 3 kapows. Anyone else voting? 3 kapows from channel members. That carries a lot of weight, guys. 4 kapows from channel members. Matt, you have been judged by a jury of your peers, and you have been found guilty of treason against Team Blaha. The sentence is death. I am the law. Kapow! And you're out of here. And those kapow votes kept rolling in after sentences already passed, man. The jury already had it in its verdict, and people was still voting, man. You didn't do too good, man. I mean, you look at these multiple people. Right? You had 5 channel members hit you, and then 3 more people kept voting. Like they wanted your head, man. But again, rule of democracy, right? We run a democracy here. I love democracy. Democracy is a great thing, right? The freedom of the people to force their will upon the government is a beautiful thing. Okay, all right. We don't have kings. We don't have kings anymore in the civilized world. We even gave him a mini kapow, right? I stand united with the administration. There we go. But I mean, in that case, that was pure democracy at play. There was like 8-0. Like you screwed at that point, dude. Yeah. That's not a situation you ever want to be in a democratic process. 8-0. No. You know that you clearly have upset people. All right, next. Swift justice. I mean, justice should be swift, like when you know, right? I mean, I look at that too when it comes to certain things, Justice needs to be swift, like when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like if you've proven with DNA evidence or whatever that someone, say, a pedo, right? I don't have a problem with the death penalty that week. If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they harmed that child, you have provable evidence. It is you're certain, right? I'm just saying. Yeah. Well, he was trying to get me canceled. He was trying to start that sort of fight. Yeah. But I think in that case, man, swift justice in those cases, when that's the difference. Like if there's no question at all, like you're sure the evidence is just irrefutable, then yeah, it should be swift. And I know some people disagree. A lot of people disagree with the death penalty. That's okay. You see, in a democracy, we're allowed to have those debates. What form of death penalty would you advocate for pedos? Like, I'm not cruel. So, Connor, I'm not like a cruel person. I'm not one of those who's like, they have to be castrated on television. No, we don't got to do all that, man. No, I think a humane, so here's my point, Connor. When you put down a rabid dog, do you torture it? Or do you say, hey, this rabid dog is a threat to children? You just simply get rid of it, right? I mean, so again, I'm not even that hardcore on this one. But I do understand the point. I just don't want to go to World War. Should I let the family deal with them? That's not unreasonable. Also, like, does the child have a father? Right? Felix says we should send a message, and it send a message to everyone. But that's the thing on that topic, and I get where you're coming from, Felix. All right. Well, Rufio got himself banned. Dad and the psych and all, they just haven't been around. They're not been banned. Rufio crossed the line, so he's gone. Um, but Dad, some of the regulars just haven't been through in well over a week. They just haven't showed up at all. I don't know. No, Alan's not new. He's regular off and on. But so here'd be my point. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate against that, guys. Against that whole topic when it comes to the death penalty for pedos. Yes, I support the death penalty on them. Yes, I think it should be fairly swift. And I do see where you guys are coming from. And as a survivor of it, I definitely kind of hold that anger there. But if we're going to be objective and we're going to look at it, say, as America, right? Well, we're mostly compounding the same people. Rufio got insulting, though. Rufio really got stalkery and insulting when I called him on some stuff, so it's a little different. But we don't just get rid of someone for being new. We're mostly banning the same guy. Lars, we really and truly, most of the bans are the same one or two people over and over and over and over. They really are. It's like the same person. I would say 50% of the Capals are the same person, if not more. But I do understand what Lars is saying there too. We don't want to kill it. We're getting plenty of views lately. It's been trickling along. But the thing is, guys, let's come back over to that topic. I'm a survivor of it. Believe me, I get angry about the matter. And Felix, I appreciate that, man. I get very angry about it. I have some serious anger over that issue. Of course I do. But I'm going to say a couple things. Number one, do we torture a rabid dog? No, we say a rabid dog is a threat to children and you get rid of it. Right? Number one. Number two, in the U.S., do we have a constitutional right against cruel and unusual punishment? Now, whether you like that or not, okay, just like we have free political speech. We don't have to like the fact of what someone has to say politically, but they do have freedom of speech is to express political opinions. Okay, to express political opinions. Okay, that is why we have it. So it's the same on that constitutional right. My primary perpetrator is dead. Right, he's already dead. So the family member can do it. Now that being said, Connor, would I think it's fair that the child's family, assuming their family isn't the one who did it, it could be a family member, allow their family to be the one who carries out sentence if they choose to. Now that I don't think is unreasonable. No, Blaze, I did not forgive my perpetrator. None of us are perfect. I might be a Christian, but I am not perfect, and I'm not capable of forgiveness on that one. I'm just not. I don't have it within me. You know what? Right? A lot of them are family members, Carrie, and that's common. Right? So, yeah, we all have our limits. Now, I'm not capable of forgiveness on that one. It's just the reality of it. So, people trying to get calls, and I have a half of a consultation left to do later this afternoon, and now I've got one of my clients like, can we squeeze in a call today later? Hey, Blaze, I would really rather not delve into where my parents were to protect during this. So I would honestly say I would rather not have that discussion here. Makes sense? Because there have been some angry words discussed over this as an adult. I don't want to bring my family arguments into this. So, Blaze, try to have some consideration. Exactly, Blaze. Think that through for a minute. Right. Yeah, but I mean, he's giving him a fair one and be like, Blaze, yeah, that's crossing a line. All good, man. Um, no, you don't have to schedule your consultations around the streams, Eric. I mean, if I have a consultation planned, it's actually the opposite. There's a reason I'm in the stream this early, but you're also a troll who just made a new account. So I schedule my streams around listed consultations. It's actually the opposite. There's a reason I started this one early because I have a consultation coming up. So you got it all confused. Very much the opposite. David's call for a kapow on Eric. Keep in mind, he just made that account today. That's a dead giveaway with certain things they say. So David's called for a kapow on Eric. Anybody second it? Carson says, looking to get into powerlifting, Jason. I started at a 355 times 3 bench in 9 months. I got my bench up to 330 for a single. Do you think there's potential? Yeah, that's you'd be crazy strong. That's unbelievably strong. All right. Man, that's 2 regulars a call. But the thing is with Eric, it's over here trying to argue about my business model as someone who's not someone doing consultations. So you understand the context of why they just voted the 2 kapows. Is because it's a brand new account. He's probably one of the guys we already banned earlier. He's probably the same guy I banned 6 times this morning who made 6 new accounts. It's suspect. So we got 2 kapows from regular members. Because again, new members following here don't say silly stuff like that. Like he knows all about the streams of the new one. That's obviously a troll who's been previously banned. We have 3 kapows, 4 kapows. Kapow, Eric, and you'll out of here. Very simple. Make him go make a new account again. I can't keep up with kapow anymore. You guys have a very team. They're used to. We're basically most of the kapows are the same guy. 2/3 of them are the same person who just makes new accounts. He made like 7 or 8 of them this morning, like back to back to back in the coffee chat. So when he's coming in now with brand new accounts he just made, it's easy to spot. It's easy to spot. I mean, they're not exactly good at hiding it. On the other hand, though, guys, yeah, it's the same troll. Like most of the kapows are the same guy. That's why sometimes we'll go a couple days without one and then 10 in the same day. It's the same guy. If he's not here, we're not banning him. I need to be right back. Moderators, you guys have the channel while I'm gone. I'll be right back. Let's see if we thick today. We thick enough, guys? How are we looking on the thickness scale? I've had people say, you don't have any chest. You don't have a chest with all that benching. People say that stuff, seriously, that I don't have a chest. We have strong surveillance system, thicker than a Snicker. How do you deal with low motivation and depression? I don't know. You deal with depression by kicking it in its mouth. That's what you do. I don't know how to deal with low motivation. You develop discipline. That resolves the problem. But I really have people who come through and say, your chest is really a weak link. I've rep 315 on the bench pause with a wide grip. I'm pretty sure I have a chest. You can argue my delts might be a weak link at the moment, but definitely not chest. People be funny. I suppose if I got really lean, I would have the big round pecs, but probably I'm just not lean enough in the chest. Oh, man. Motivation is irrelevant. Discipline is where it's at. Yeah, pretty much, Lars. For your chest is not a weak one. Right? People be crazy. Carson, I'm not aware at all, man. I don't watch Vegan Stain, so I have no idea. Thicker than a Snicker, right? Would be thicker than peanut butter. All right. Oh, man. Oh, well, he's also a crazy sociopath vegan. So, what do you expect, guys? I don't know what people expect from him. How's that vote doing up there, though? Let me investigate that. Where are we at? 36 votes. Your mom is winning, though. She's slightly ahead of everybody. There's more people voted for Vegan Gains. There are people who think Vegan Gains could take Mike, even though Richard has no fighting training. 225 to 70, 18, whatever you hit is freaking elite. I did 19 the other day. I got 19 pause reps. I barely locked the 19th rep. I almost couldn't rack it. I almost couldn't get it back in the J-hooks. Like that 19th rep with the 225, I'm like, almost couldn't lock it to get it in the rack. I barely got it back in the hooks. It was like, Vegan Gains, his real name is Richard. I thought you guys knew this stuff, man. I don't know Vegan Gains' his real name. Israetel's 5'6", Vegan Gains is 6'3". Does he really need fighting? I mean, Mike has got a lot of muscle and strength and actual training experience, though. Do you think Mike's only on 3 different drugs? All right. Be realistic here, guys. Got to be realistic about it. Makes sense why Vegan Gains is such a dick, right? I mean, and I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but he had said at one time, to my memory, he admitted like 10 years ago in a video that he had been diagnosed as a sociopath, if I recall. Arm reaches enough he did. But they're talking about BJJ, man. Inside of a cage, and Mike is an experienced grappler. No, Vegan Gains is not a raw meat eating guy. He's a vegan. Hence the name Vegan Gains. He's a militant vegan who argues veganism and argues studies and debates about veganism. All right. No. Oh, no, he attacked Goatus. Yeah, who cares about Goatus? Goatus is another weird, like all these weird freak goofball diets, vegans, raw meat only eaters. Guys, they just got to stop with this stuff. I would love to see a carnivore versus a vegan cage match. Whoever wins gets bragging rights for the superior diet. They're both inferior diets. Frederick says, hey, what's up, Frederick? How are you doing, man? I don't know who you are, but welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. So carnivores versus vegans. We need to have we need a larger cross sectional area. You need like 30 of them, 30 separate bites. Right? I mean, neither dietary approach is as ideal for strength or performance. So, come on, guys. How about a chicken and rice bro versus any of them? Yep. Frederick says, I was a regular with the lifting weights 2 months, and today I've relapsed to alcohol. Hey, man, there's a whole lot of us who are sober in here. So Frederick, all right, guys, hold on. This is important stuff. Have you tested your strength and Mike Israetel? I'm probably stronger than Mike. I don't know that for a fact, but I probably am. I guess I need to see what he's lifting these days. Frederick, so what happened, man? So you were lifting weights 2 months, and today you relapsed to alcohol. So have you gone to a meeting? You got a sponsor? So you involved in a program, Frederick? Put the bottle down, Fred. Absolutely, man. Yeah, alcohol is a poison. Alcohol is a poison in the body, the mind, and the soul, man. So what are you going to do about it, Frederick? Yeah, so what triggered the relapse? And are you involved in a program? I've struggled on and off for 13 years. No, man. I mean, bro, there's a lot of us in here who promote sobriety. I mean, I'm coming up on 7 years sober myself. 7 years. David. So yeah, man. So it sounds like you needed like a support program, President. So have you thought about going and checking out AA or something? Just throwing it out there, brother. I stopped drinking for a whole lot of reasons. Mainly because, yes, I could argue the health stuff. For me, it's my behavior when I drink. My behavior is unacceptable when I drink, to the point where I was unhappy with the way that I behaved under the influence of alcohol, and I chose to quit. No, but I'm on home. I used to train regularly 4.5 years. Brick, I'm not going to get. No, I never drank. No, I absolutely did not drink and drive. That was something that I've always been against for pretty much most of my life. So even when I did drink, I did not ever drink and drive, and I was very adamant that no one else did. There were times when I was a designated driver, and didn't drink because people needed a designated driver. So that for me, I could always not drink if I knew they needed a driver. I didn't drink, and I've been the designated driver many times for many of my circles of friends. Yeah. A dispute with a person. Okay, so you had a conflict that put you in it. Is says he drank and drove and split his car into 2 pieces. Yeah, man. I've lost loved ones. I lost a good bro of mine to a drunk driver. And then some close loved ones of mine have been hurt pretty bad. But one of my inner circle bros was killed by a drunk driver in my 20s, and that stuck with me. Like my mid-20s, one of our bros was killed by a drunk driver, and that affected me back then. So even back then, I've been like, I'm a designated drive, do whatever I had to do. Often driving, meeting friends just to have the excuse that I can't drink, right? Yeah. So that impacted me. Like that experience made me very against drunk driving. Because he was a good dude, and it's kind of like I said that before, man. Like he's someone that none of you would have disliked. He didn't have any enemies. Like he was one of those guys. He was just a dude who had no enemies. Nobody hated him. Nobody disliked him. He never wronged anybody, and he was killed by a drunk driver, man. It's too personal, David, but yes, I put up pictures, and I don't want to go into further details. But yes, my car was totaled out. Um, Growing up, did any relatives? Yes, but you're getting too far into all that. Who are we talking about? Just get here. Oh, we're talking about drinking and driving. One of the person who just came in here says he relapsed on his alcohol yesterday. So, so Frederick, man, what are you going to do about it, bro? I think that you need to look into a program. Like I would urge you to. So you relapsed, you haven't drank for a month. I think that you need to get into a program, man. Would be my advice to you, brother. Connor says, just off the train, lower body. See you later. Congrats for 7 years. Well, it's coming up. February the 18th is 7 years from me. Yeah, don't drink and drive. Stay home. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, stay home, dudes. No, I agree. Drinking and driving is horrible. Like it ruins lives, man. Absolutely ruins lives. You know, there's no excuse for it today. We have Ubers, we have all this stuff, Like there's just no excuse for it anymore. I mean, not with Ubers and Lyft and everything available. There's no excuse for it. But back over to Frederick. No, man, I think you should get in a program. I am glad that you never drink and drive because I'm pretty judgmental of drinking and driving mainly because I've lost people. Jason, what's your best lunch? I don't know. I don't really do lunches. So you're disappointed in yourself, okay? But there's where we are, Frederick. You relapsed after a month. You're disappointed, so you know that you can do better. I think you should look into the local programs. I think you should check out. You could do AA online. Hey, Frederick, you can do like Zoom calls. They do even online meetings for AA. Like, bro, you could probably go find one today. Right? Right? You've tried AA. Well, maybe you should try it again, bro. Just saying. Maybe give it another try. It's the alternative. Right? That's just going to depend. So, is drinking driving enough to end a friendship? Man, um, it could be. Yeah. It could be a big problem for me. Um, no, Jay, not many TJers tell me that. I appreciate that, though. Assuming you're being sincere. So, what's going on with your own situation with your dad, man? How do you know if you're a good looking person? If you're a good looking person, people tell you. Alcohol is poison, man. Um, doesn't just taste like poison. I mean, it is a poison. Like biologically, it is. Um, Man, now Frederick, it's rough, bro. So my advice to you, brother, you're in here, you're struggling with this. I would urge you to get in a program. Jason, what's the best way to handle comments in public from strangers, good or bad? What do you mean? Strangers don't say bad things to me in public. I don't really have experience with that sort of thing. Think about that for a minute. Like, do you really think people say negative stuff to me who don't know me in person? Come on. I mean, I'm like a over 200-pound power lifter with a shaved head and bangs. I mean, realistically, be realistic here. I have no concept of what that's like. It's only on the internet. If I was not on the internet, I would have no clue that people are rude. What about good comments? How do you address them? What do you mean? That's a really weird question. I don't understand the question. Are you asking me how do I interact with strangers in public in general? Do you interact with them like a human being? What are you talking? That's a very strange line of questioning. Um, so are you dealing with? So do you have some sort of social anxiety disorder or something that you're struggling to deal with? I'm probably not the best person to help you, unfortunately. So you should probably talk to a therapist of some type because I just interact with people. I'm actually fairly extroverted. I'm a pretty outgoing person. So, if you get comments, well, what do you mean? You deal with it all the time? All right. It depends. So, Brick, again, I don't understand the question. It would depend on the comment. It happens all the time. So I'm not sure what response you're looking for. Uh, People who comment on other people's channels that they don't look like they live there, right? Right. So there's no set answer. So as someone who actually is a social person, you respond to each situation depending upon the situation. You carry on a conversation with people, or you just laugh it off and they walk by. People will make comments and not even stop to talk to you. They'll just leave a compliment as they walk by. Men and women both do it. So it's pretty normal. The best I've ever lifted is 125 kg at 73. Good stuff, Frederick. That's still pretty solid. That's pretty solid. You're afraid that people will leave comments? Why? Well, I mean, you're not going to get to my size, dude. Stop for a minute, Britt. Again, realistically, you don't have to worry about that. It's just not a valid fear. That sounds like your own set of hangups. I don't know how to help you there, man. If you're literally worried about getting too big because people will make comments, then I don't know. I can't help you, man. You were probably beyond my help next. Let's get some other conversations going. Please note we realize you just made this profile today. You'll get comments before you get to my size. Anyway, I hope we'll get back to the gym. So get back in the gym, man. Get back under the barbell. My only fear is actually scaring people away. Being big and have a mean resting face, it probably doesn't help. I can't teach you how to socialize with normal human beings in public. This is not what I do. Again, I'm not going to answer any further questions on this because I don't know how to help you. It sounds like you have some sort of social anxiety problem and you should talk to a mental health professional. This is outside of my wheelhouse. This is not what I do for a living. I'm a strength coach. My job is to get you jacked and strong. So, not to teach you how to socialize. Got to go have a good day. Hey, Brick, it's clear to me you've never left your house, that you live at home or something. You don't know what to say when different people, you have a conversation. Like that's your question alone is very, very weird. Well, it's not a specific thing that you say. That's why it's a really weird question. Like you're weirding me out, dude. Like you strike me as someone weird. I'm just telling you straight up, I'm about to ban you. And the reason for it, you're obviously the same guy we just banned, and you have some sort of social interaction issue. Because that's not a normal train of thought. No, I didn't go. I haven't been fishing and hunting in forever, Jay. Like, what do you say? There's no set response. You respond to different people in social situations depending upon the specifics of the social situation. Right? I don't always necessarily compliment them back. Again, it all depends on the situation. I mean, so if a woman says, "Hey, you have really nice calves," are you supposed to, you don't just say, "Hey, you have really nice calves too"? Yeah, it's just, no, it's the same guy. It's not trolls. It's the same guy over and over. Yeah, it says, "Yeah, someone says you look like you lived." That's not even what they say. That's not even what they say at all. I get way more extreme compliments than that. Yeah. You ever hunted raccoons or possums? No, not specifically. I've hunted squirrels as a kid. I've had dudes straight up say, "You have a beautiful physique." I can see certain that's happened. Have you hunted gophers? No. Yeah, no one asked me if I lift. Yeah. Ever hunted mountain lions? No, but my dad shot a mountain lion when I was a kid. And he skinned it for the reward because of where we lived at. There were bounties on them. Because it's very obvious that I lift. No one asked me if I lift. I've been asked how much I bench press. I've been asked how much I squat. I've had a dude wearing a personal trainer shirt walk by and ask me, "Man, how much do you squat?" But I've never been asked, "Do I lift?" No. I don't recall anybody asking me that walking around out in public. Beaton Gaines can't get in the ring. He can't even bend his knee properly. Right. There you go, Peppermint. If gay guys ever hit on you, then hit on you all the time. Yeah, the camera definitely makes people look different. Well, again, context. I stood up. This is just a raw camera feed and what I look like standing here. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's kind of obvious that I lift dudes. You know, Alan, they absolutely are. Do they're super, super touchy. And it's very awkward. You couldn't see the purple. Yeah, no, that's not hard to judge, Britt. I could see the camera myself. All right. Yeah, I'm not doing a shirtless flex. No, Bridgilla, you're getting weird. You kind of weird, dude. You're kind of creeping me out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and since I know you're the same guy I already just banned, I'm probably gonna ban you. Like again, it's pretty obvious you came in here acting weird with a brand new account. How many days off for chest? I bench 3 days a week right now, Yaku. I bench Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What am I benching? I did 350 for a 2-second pause earlier this year on camera. I benched more in the past on camera. That was after cutting. But, man, this guy, like Briggshill's the only one commenting. That's what's gotten weird. Like you're just this one weird dude, and he's already outed himself. The only one posting. I'm just gonna get rid of him, but let's get some other stuff. All right. He's already outed himself. I know it's the same guy we just banned. All right, next, I'm gonna get rid of him. Let's get some other real questions. There's something that even men are scared of. Every man is scared of different stuff, Kalama. What do you mean? Being afraid of things is nothing to do. Like men are afraid of things. Of course, they're afraid of things. Fear is a normal human emotion. Lots of men are afraid of different things. Some men are afraid of dying alone. Some men are afraid of dying a painful death. Come on. Are you worried about the AI bubble crashing? I don't actually know what that means. So, do you like any rows other than barbell or pendlay? Yeah, I like dumbbell rows too. I'm scared of spiders. I don't like spiders at all. I don't do well with spiders. I tend to just smash them. Cockroach, man. Everybody's gangster until a cockroach starts flying, right? Where I live, we get those big cockroaches. They're like, when they fly, it's like, I've seen grown-ass men run and yell. Like, what? It gets hilarious. You don't need, no, rows are still useful. They're still useful. But pull-ups and deadlifts can get you a real long way with your back. I agree. It does say you don't need, I don't know that need is the wrong word. It doesn't make them not a useful tool. Yeah, man, everybody's gangster until a cockroach starts flying, right? Well, you're asking how is a row still useful? A row is a phenomenal exercise. Like, what do you mean, how's it useful? It builds your back. No, I don't have any good investment tips for you. I don't run that sort of channel. I'm not a financial expert. I'm definitely the wrong place for that. You should go to a finance channel for that. Hey, coach, is low bar squatting fine? I just prefer the feeling of the bar on low bar. Sure. I don't think you guys have many poisonous spiders. I've been bitten by both main categories here, so I have a distinct dislike of spiders. I have been bitten by both a brown recluse and a black widow. I had to get medical treatment for the brown recluse. Yeah, I got bit on my calf. I definitely had to go to the doctor. Yeah, only spider that bit me was a brown recluse in Alabama. No, dude, it started getting a little ulcer. I went to the doctor like immediately. As soon as that bruise started spreading, when that bruise got about the size of my palm, and we had a little ulcer, it's like, yeah, it's time to get to the doctor immediately. And I was treated with no real major issue from there. But yeah. You ever see rattlers? That's not the correct question. I'm a country boy. Yeah, the question would be, how many rattlers have I killed? Not have I ever seen one. You already know where I'm from. So you know that I've seen rattlers. The question is, have I killed rattlers? And the answer is yes, I have killed several rattlesnakes. I love house centipedes. Luke says, I have a skin graft because of a golf ball size hole in my quad. Ouch. I was a garage in Ohio, it crept up my shorts. I don't even know when I got bit. The doctor knew it was a brown recluse, though. I don't know when I got bit. I just had the bite. And I'm like, what in the hell? Let's get to the doctor. My mom's like, let's get to the doctor. Because I wasn't grown yet. I was still a minor. I was like, yeah, we're going to the doctor. We went to her boss too. Because they're bad here in ladybugs. What's the most insane pet you've seen? No, I'm not wealthy. You're really filling out those sleeves that size. It's a large. It's a large. No, dude, it's just a large. Well, Jay's a kid, by the way. He said Mercenary. He didn't know better. We filling out the sleeves, bros. Oh. But we're a month from 49, guys. I turned 49 next month. We got gray in our beard, but we're still thick. The most insane pet. I don't know how we defining insane. I had some family members who had a monkey. His name was Chico. I've known someone, my piano teacher had wolf dogs when I was a kid. How many jack dudes do you notice daily? I don't really see dudes my size out there. It's absurdly rare. It's weird that most bodybuilders now, just because they all have body dysmorphia. They have body dysmorphia, so they're embarrassed. That's why. They hide. Or for wildlife here, the worst we have is black bears, and ticks can be bad. We don't have bears here. We have coyotes, bobcats, snakes, obviously. Luke has a valid point. Why would someone vote for a random social media kid with no experience in politics or any other relevant fields? Exactly. Yaku, no, it was actually a real monkey. It was about this big. I don't discuss any of my plans in public, like The Rock or something. Which is harder, becoming a millionaire or benching 315? Becoming a millionaire. Benching 315 is not even that hard, man. I'd rep out 315. Come on. I think benching 315 is way easier. Dude, if becoming a millionaire was as easy as benching 315, my God. Right? No, I don't get people trying to pick fights at all. Hey, Lex, also remember where I live. And it's very obvious that I'm sharp. Do you not see what's even sitting behind me? Look up under bag puss. Do you not see in the middle of the screen? Right next to my head? No, man, I don't think people want to pick fights. Yeah, Luke says it's case by case, but yeah, I reckon the majority of the cases they're using bench. Anybody can work their way to a 315 bench. Not everyone can work their way up to having $1 million. Plenty of people work their butts off and don't have even 100 grand, 50 grand, anything like that in savings. The people like to target. Yeah, dude, they don't mess with me. No, they don't do that at all. Right. Yeah, it's more achievable for more people. My way to bench press a plan is fit. Good day to you, coach. All right. No, Lex, nobody picks fights with me. I'm not going to fight them anyways. Someone wants to throw hands, I'm not going to get hit in the face. I'm just going to shoot them. I'm going to put about 7 or 8. and I'm going to see how they respond. Have you ever had anyone try to grope you? Obviously. Many, many times. I don't have people try to fight me, but I've been groped by men and women both in public. Yeah, but if you're like somewhere in the middle and says it's a sweet spot. Sure, you are a library quiet when you left. Oh man. So Lex, you are sure persistent today, aren't you? All right. That's how many times has the same guy been banned today? 10, 11, 12? 1 in 8 exceed 1 million in assets, but not the equity. Yeah, like having a million, it's not the same. You're not a millionaire just because you have a million in assets. Right. Right. I agree with that. So when someone says millionaire, I'm assuming they have liquid assets. Yeah, assets and liabilities. Right. You know. Do they have enough liquid assets that in an emergency they could come up with $1 million? Is a millionaire. Only 3% of people even work out. That's the problem. It's the amount of work. Building up $1 million takes more work than building a 315 bench. I'm just telling you straight up. Building a 315 bench requires less total work. Right. Right. So it's amount of work. So the average person doesn't have a skill set to make the $1 million for the same amount of work. Okay. I could take most dudes and given a certain amount of man hours can get them to a 315 bench over so many years. Building up $1 million. So what we mean is think about making $1 million. Let's say you make $100 per hour, right? Making $100 per hour. How many hours of work do you have to invest to make $1 million at $100 per hour, right? I'll do the math. Very few people make $100 an hour. 10,000 hours. Bro, you don't have to train for 10,000 hours of bench 315. Okay. So in terms of achievableness of work, it's way less than that. You know? Right. Luke says for some people making their first million is insanely easy, but it's incredibly hard for many people, especially if they have a moral compass, right? Oh gosh. I'll be right back. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, peppermint raises a valid point. Some people bench 315 like nothing. Hello from Boulder, Colorado. I love Boulder, Colorado. Hey guys, I got a client who needs to get a call in, kind of short notice, so I'm going to wind this down. We got a long coffee chat this morning, though. Of course, we didn't get any supers in here, but it's okay. I probably do need to wind this one down, though, so that I can get my client call, and then I have a consultation after. So I'm going to give you guys a bicep shot. I'm going to wind this down. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Let me give you a bicep shot, though. Oh, Mount Bicepius. There. All right, guys, we're out. Love you guys, and we're out. Yeah, I got it. I caught that. All right, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow.